Welcome to the Rain Sessions podcast, powered by swingjuice.com. I hope you enjoy it, and if you like it, please subscribe. On this episode, we've probably got the most iconic current NFL dynamic duo of Wil Lutz and Zach Wood.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
How was that? This is kind of like the standard question across the board. How is life under this new normal quarantine going for you guys?
Go ahead, Will.
You can see there's Peloton behind me. That's kind of what I've done every single day.
Yeah.
But, I've been kicked off multiple fields trying to kick footballs, and it's just, the difference is we're all in the same boat. So it's a lot easier to accept it when we're all in the same place.
Yeah. So are you literally just sneaking on the field and seeing what you can do? I mean, what field can continue that's like close by?
Well, we have a few high schools, and I've been fortunate that one guy has finally let me kick on his field. But it's a health protocol. I can't get mad at him.
Yeah.
So I just got to keep trying.
Yeah, it's crazy. The world's
a little easy for snappers. They only need 8 yards to work with.
Hey, I need 14 also.
Gotta give them a little room, right? So yeah, I just want to kind of jump into some football with you guys. I mean, obviously you guys are in a kind of a tough spot. I mean, you should have already started football activities. We've got this whole worldwide situation going on. So what have you guys been doing to sort of, again, try to stay focused, stay in shape, get ready for a new schedule potentially coming up?
Well, Zach's the workout junkie, so I'll let him take that one.
I basically, at least during off season, I try to take the training a little bit more seriously than obviously during in season. So I've been trying to do 2 days every day just to be in the best shape I can possibly be in. And I know it might be a little overkill just because I'm only long snapping. It's not like I'm playing defense line or anything. But I just like to show up and stay in shape. I don't want to be, the stereotypical, maybe long snapper that's how it used to be. You just kind of come in and snap some balls. I want to be athletic. I want to be able to move around. And so I try to take my training pretty seriously. And in terms of, snapping and finding work, it's like Will said, it's not hard to find, 14 yards to get some work in. I try to treat every snap like I would a game snap, so just trying to focus in on that and just, get better at my craft every day.
Has your off-season program changed? I mean, obviously when this all hit, we're talking 2 months ago now. Have you had to adjust too much, or was it sort of continue your off-season program and then, when you can finally, get some real, team activities going, you just jump right into it?
Well, I think for us with specialists, we're so on our own. Yeah. And having access to training. So, obviously we're not in the meetings like we normally are this time of year. But, this time of year with OTAs and lifting we're only up at the facility for a couple hours a day anyway. So it's so relaxed normally anyways.
Zach, how about you?
I think like Will said, it's a little bit more relaxed. Typically OTAs are about the same way, obviously you get a little bit more filling time and meeting time, getting to know your teammates a little bit more. So I think that's really the only difference. I think it's good for a lot of guys who have family and kids, they get to hang out with them a little bit more, especially even now since everybody's at home.
Yeah.
But I think everybody's going to be a little bit more hungry to get back at it once training camp picks up eventually, hopefully. And, I don't think we're really going to miss a step.
Yeah. So what's it like playing in New Orleans? I mean, New Orleans is one of my favorite cities in the world that I've ever visited. I have family in Louisiana, so I'm a Patriots fan. Just I grew up in New England, but I've always had a love for the Saints. So what's it like playing in the Dome and just kind of being on this Saints team?
For me personally, I don't think you could play for a better city, and you talk to other guys from different teams, they talk about how just intense and how crazy our fans are every time they come play in the Dome. You know, it's just something special, and you can really feel the love from everybody during the games, at practices, during training camp. When fans are coming in, they just really show a lot of love. And even at the airport, you know, they got people lined up at the airport watching us drive home. No matter what time it is, it could be 3 a.m., you know, and it's really something special. I think all of us definitely really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, just to bounce off that, I mean, the one thing about New Orleans, and obviously we're biased to think that New Orleans Saints fans are the best fans, and you have Saints fans, and I mean that's it. So, you know, I grew up in Atlanta, where it's a hub for, you know, everyone. You know, everyone's from different states flying in for work, and so you know, you go to a Falcons game, and it's half full of the other fans, just because there's people from all over the place in Atlanta. With New Orleans, it's the Saints and the Tigers, and that's it.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think you really feel as one. You feel like everyone's in it together. And so I'm biased, but I think it's the best fan base in the country.
Yeah, I've actually never stepped foot in the Superdome. I've been to Louisiana, you know, dozens of times, been to New Orleans dozens of times, never stepped foot in the Superdome, but I hear it's just like an electric atmosphere, you know, every single game. So describe the bond between, the both of you and Thomas, you know, this unit. You know, we hear about it, you know, not being a professional football player and, you know, but being a football fan. You hear about the bond between these different units. Talk about the bond between you three guys and how it kind of plays out throughout the season.
Okay, I'll take this one. You know, I think it's something really special, and I think it's something that we've built these past 3 years now, and you know, we've become really good friends. You know, our first year, Will and I, he was nice enough. He invited me to come stay with him my rookie year, and we got to live together. And he kind of helped me through my first season, in which I just, you know, I can't thank him enough for all of that. And he really helped me out. But we've really built a strong friendship, all three of us together, which really works wonders on the field. You know, so everything we do off the field really translates to what we do during games. And I think just, you know, building that bond year after year has really helped us a lot.
Yeah, and I think if you look at the best special, Atlanta's been together a while until recently, and then, you know, we're going on 4 years now, and we're arguably one of the top 3 units in the league. So I think building that chemistry, you know, when you have turnover at one of the positions, it's tough to build that chemistry together. So we've been fortunate to and so that helps with everything. He's kind of seen it all. So I think it's good that we're all kind of different ages, different stages in our life. And I think that it kind of helps us perform on the field.
So let's talk about a little golf. You know, what kind of brought you guys to the game of golf? You know, how does it sort of play into your life? I mean, you know, I think once you get into it, it's tough to shake it. So talk about your experiences in the game so far.
Well, Will's got a problem.
I've heard that.
Will's got a golf problem.
So
you know, I'm only into golf because Will makes me go golf with him all the time.
Yeah.
And half the time I'm upset about it because he is much better than me. And you know what? But I always get a little competitive, and it's always I like to play with somebody better than me. You know, maybe not that much better, but he'd you know, he's obsessed with it, and it's getting me obsessed. You know, so I've been playing a lot secretly over here. So when I get back over there, maybe I'll give him some competition. But
put in the work.
Yeah.
Yes. So my problem is when I find something I like, I'm all in. And golf. I didn't even have my own clubs. And our center at the time was Max Unger. And he looked at me and he was like, "Oh, you're the new kicker, so you're a scratch golfer." And I was like, not at all. I've actually never played. He's like, "It should be in your contract that you're at least a 200." And so every day for 5 years, it's just, I love the mental side of it. I think it really, I don't think the game of golf relates to kicking like people think, but I think the mental side of it, it kind of keeps me sharp and it keeps me busy too. So I just love the game.
And that's kind of one of my next questions. Like, do you feel like you can relate, golf, especially Will, you with kicking? I mean, the mental side of it. Can you apply some of the things that you use on the course in the field and vice versa?
Enough to apply too much to it, but one of my I have a buddy who caddies for John Sinden on tour, and I kind of have an interest in getting into the caddy field when I'm done playing.
Yeah.
And I spoke with him about it, and I think what he expressed to me was, a lot of times the hardest, they're talented enough, they can hang with a tour guy any day of the week, but the problem is the mental side. When they get into a pressure situation, that's kind of what makes or break these guys that get from Q school to the Corn Fair to the tour. And I think that my experience with kicking and having to handle the pressure on my own and not really have anyone else to lean on when it comes to certain types of pressure can relate to those guys. And so, obviously there's nothing in common with the swing and athletic ability, but I think as far as the mental side it's almost identical.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can imagine golf. I mean, again, as a golfer, your brain is fried half the time. So I'm assuming the same pressure. And again, I'm just playing at Munich courses. I'm not even there's no fans. There's nothing going on there. So,
yeah.
But no, I can see the correlation there. So back to my favorite city, one of my favorite cities, New Orleans. Obviously, you guys are New Orleans residents, and for us at our brand Swing Juice, we're big foodies here. So we do golf and tacos, golf and pizza, just some fun play. Some of our two favorite things. What are some of the best spots in New Orleans that you can eat? Now, there's the touristy places, but I want to hear about some of the off the beaten path type of joints.
Well, for me, I'm a big breakfast guy. So one of the reasons I get out of bed is because I'm hungry and I want some breakfast, right? So there's this good place kind of towards Uptown. It's called Bearcat Cafe. I know that Will loves it, and it's one of my favorite spots. And they make terrific food, great breakfast foods. Even the lunch menu is pretty good. And that's like during training camp, we get an off day. That's where we're going to go for breakfast. It's a great spot.
Yeah, I agree with that. Bearcat, my favorite breakfast places. And then, obviously you have the tourist places, but it's kind of crazy. One of my favorite places in New Orleans is Rock and Sake Sushi. We went out to Seattle for a week to play Seattle, and obviously they had the best sushi I've ever had in Seattle, but I would say Rock and Sake is probably a close second. And then there's a place called Merrill I really like. It's ran by Emerald
Lagasse.
Yep. It's his daughter's restaurant, and it's kind of like a tapas menu style, and they have a little New Orleans twang to it. So that's kind of my go-to on weekends.
Yeah, the last time I was there, I mean, I did the touristy spots. I did, Cafe du Monde, and got the coffee and the beignets, and then
I've only had a beignet one time.
That's all you need, because honestly, they're addicting, and you would get into trouble. Like it just, they're so close to you, so you would have trouble trying to stay away from that place. But I mean, New Orleans is such a phenomenal food city. So, who on the team would you say, when you the whole group, who are some of the guys that you would name that most likely to embarrass you, most likely to be on a reality show, maybe quit going to politics, sing the national anthem, star in a blockbuster film? Like, talk about some of the guys, some of the characters that you're around every single day.
You don't want to throw too many guys under the bus.
Yeah, well, I you can name names if you want to.
I could say Thomas Morstead for all those categories. And I'm not saying that because he's one of my good buddies on the team. I'm just saying if he'll embarrass you like your parents embarrass you, because he's like the dad of the team, And
sometimes Thomas is too smart for his own good.
You're right. Yeah. And
Cam
he's
Jordan,
definitely going to politics.
I'll give Cam Jordan. He's most likely to be on a reality TV show. He's a big kid. He probably acts about 15 years old, but the man can get to the quarterback quick. And then obviously there's Taysom Hill. He could probably fill the gap on just about any of that, because that guy can do it all.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That is great. Guys, thank you so much for doing this. We got this one little last segment. we call it show and tell. It's just like when you were a kid. Do you have anything that's and again, this is more for our like streaming, video audience for this particular podcast. But do you have anything laying around that you can show that has a pretty good story with it?
Yeah. Well, I don't mean to like keep it on the football. So when I moved here, I met my wife in New Orleans. She was here a few years before me. And so I'm a football junkie. I love football.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about anyone, any team. Doesn't have to be the Saints. And so when I moved here, I went to hang out with my girlfriend at the time. And I'm like, where did you get that? Because I'm like the biggest Drew Brees fan.
Oh, nice.
And so it is an autographed jersey of when he set a few records that game. And so her dad, when she moved to New Orleans to be a nurse, her dad bought it in an auction. Like, I got to get it for her. She's moved to New Orleans. She doesn't care about football, but I'm going to get it for her anyways. So I walk in, and that's hanging up. And so when we finally got engaged and she moved in, I was like, that's coming with us because that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. So I just think it's kind of cool that her dad got that way before, we met. And it's kind of a piece that I've kind of taken from her.
Yeah, it's almost like life has come full circle for you with that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Great. That is great.
Drew has no idea I have it.
No?
I'm afraid to tell him.
What are you saying? Well,
I should screenshot this and send it to him.
So.
Zach, what do you got?
Oh, shoot, man.
I know you've been digging around for a little bit. I was
thinking all day of what I could bring.
You got Celsius in there?
I do, man. I got myself have to work out, huh? Man, I really got nothing,
Here, I got one for you. Here, Zach. Show and tell. Tell a story. Tell your story about how you became a long snapper.
That's true. That's a tell.
Here's a good one.
This
is a good one.
Good call.
Is this a good one? About how
it's a good one.
You talking about from like? Okay,
start from the 300-pound days.
Oh God! All right. So I played defensive end or defensive tackle, I guess, at SMU my senior year, and I finished off my senior year about 290.
A rough 290.
Yeah, I was a meat wagon, man. I was huge. And I get invited to Dallas Day, go to Dallas Day, and I snap and I do some defensive line drills, and the defensive line coach, Coach Marinelli, and then the special teams coordinator liked me a bunch, and they invited me to rookie minicamp. So I went out there and did my thing for rookie minicamp. They're like, hey, you're probably too slow to play defense line. Let's lose some weight and let's come back and let's snap. And they're like, lose about 20 pounds. And when you do that, call us back in a couple months, And I was like, screw that. I'm going to lose it as quick as possible. So literally 2 weeks later, I'm back down to 265. And I called the coach. I was like, hey, I've lost all the weight you wanted me to lose. I'm ready to go. And he's like, holy crap. He's like, all right, let me call you back. 2 days later, he calls me back. He's like, hey, we're signing you. Come in. And, all that. So I show up and they give me like a 64 number. And they're like, hey, by the way, you're still going to play defensive line, but you're going to move even further inside. So I played nose tackle at 260 and was the hardest training camp I've ever been a part of, playing defense line and snapping. And
at the end of it, Dallas had at the time.
Oh, yeah. Which was the best offense line at the time. And they just, that was day in and day out, just taking a beating.
You were like thrown in like a washing machine. Like.
Oh yeah. I was just. It looked like I got jumped after every practice. I just laid on the field and it was a beat down. But I earned respect from those coaches, and that's what was most important for me. And I didn't get the result at the time that I thought I wanted. I got cut.
Mm-hmm.
They were saying I did a good job. Brought me back. Did another year. I just long snapped, and then cut again, and then the Saints signed me a week later, and then next thing I know, I'm playing Monday Night Football, which is incredible.
The thing I love about that story is that what people don't know about Zach and I is we both took gigs out of college that we knew we weren't going to win. We were both mini camp invites where they had, LP Ladiseur, the long snapper in Dallas, is a 19-year veteran, and Justin Tucker in Baltimore is arguably the best kicker in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so we knew we weren't going to make the team, but we went up there and we took advantage of these opportunities, and now here we are, teammates. Zach just signed a 4-year extension, and I'm on a 5-year extension, and it just shows that everybody's story is different, and it's kind of cool that we have a little bit of a different story than a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Again, it's not how you get there; it's just getting there. Which is well. I got one last question for you. What's the do you ever get people off the street from a fantasy football standpoint saying, "Listen, man, I need you to get me so and so."
Oh, don't bring that up. Oh man,
it is the most annoying. I'm telling you,
I have to imagine it's gonna drive you crazy.
Fantasy
I get annoyed with it.
Is the worst thing that has ever happened to the NFL from a player's insight. I'm telling you, I can go 6 for 6 with a game winner, and someone will call me saying, "Dude, I lost fantasy because you didn't kick one more extra point." And I'm like,
yeah.
My goodness. It's funny. It's entertaining. I did it for a year, and then my best friend from home cut me on his team, and I was like, I'm done with this. Done.
Yeah, that's frustrating because I've had to hear it, from just vicariously through him, and Will gets pissed, and I get mad for him. I was like, "This is ridiculous."
It's not like a genuinely pissed off, but it's like, come on now.
It's like a mosquito. It's like a mosquito, like buzzing around your ear, like get away from me. Get away.
I just had a bad game. I don't need to hear this.
Like, come on, man. Will's doing this for a living, and you're doing this for fun. Like, take it easy.
But I will say we do have fun with it. I'm not all negative about it. We have fun with it.
You've had a pretty good nickname come from it, so.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Well, guys, thanks again for doing this. We can't thank you enough. And like I said, hopefully you guys are all safe. Your families are safe. And down the road, we'll see you either at a football game or on the golf course.
Yeah,
yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, guys. Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please check out swingjuice.com, the go-to place for golf and awesome t-shirts. Use promo code RAINSessions20 for 20% off. Swing Juice, wear your passion on your sleeve.